All right. Hey, everyone. Welcome back. Today, we are diving deep
Mhm.
into something I think we all can relate to, on some level at
Oh,
least.
yeah, absolutely.
We are talking about heartbreak.
Yeah.
And specifically,
Yeah.
we're going to be looking at
Right.
how to heal from heartbreak, how to love yourself through pain.
Absolutely.
And the inspiration, really, the source material for all this is healing after heartbreak,
Mm.
loving yourself through pain. So I'm excited to kind of pick this apart with you and see what we
Yeah.
can all learn and take away from this great work.
Yeah. And just to jump in,
Yeah, go ahead.
I think the book does a really great job right off the bat of just acknowledging like the intense pain that can come with heartbreak.
Oh, yeah.
It can feel like your whole world is just shattering.
Oh, yeah. I've been there. I think we've all been there.
Yeah, it's rough. It's like, it's incredibly tough.
It's so tough.
But what's so interesting is this book, instead of like dwelling on that, like really frames heartbreak.
Yeah.
And not just as this like ending, but as like a chance, like an opportunity for like deep personal growth.
Yeah, and I think that's where the idea, this theme of like loving yourself through the pain
Absolutely.
really, really comes in. Like heartbreak can really, like you were saying, like shatter your sense of self.
Absolutely.
And so you have to rebuild. And it's really a
Mm.
time to really cultivate that self-love, to rebuild your self-esteem and build resilience for the future.
Right. And it gives you those tools that you need to move forward
Exactly.
a healthy way.
But loving yourself through pain, I think that's like a
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
interesting, catchy phrase.
Mm.
But, for me, like, what does that actually look like? Like, how do you actually do that?
Yeah. No, that's a great point. I mean, it can sound a little bit abstract,
Yeah.
but the book actually does a really good job of giving like, practical, actionable steps.
Okay, good.
So one of the first things it really emphasizes is this idea of understanding that heartbreak often triggers like a genuine grief response.
Yeah, and I think it's important to like really sit with that for a second. Like heartbreak is a real loss. Like you've lost this person, this relationship. It's okay to grieve that.
Absolutely. And I think recognizing that grief response is actually like a step towards self-compassion
Okay.
because it normalizes those like super intense feelings of sadness and anger, confusion,
Right.
all those things that like come up.
Yeah, all the messy stuff.
Yeah,
All
exactly.
the stuff we don't want to deal with.
Right after a relationship ends.
So how do we begin to like we were saying, like love ourselves in the midst of all that?
So one really cool thing the book suggests is this exercise called writing a letter to your pain.
Ooh, that sounds interesting. Like, tell me a little more about that. What is that?
Yeah, so it basically encourages you to like actually acknowledge and validate your feelings by actually writing them down. Almost like you're having like this dialogue, this conversation with
Oh,
the heartbreak itself. And this can be like such a powerful way to
wow.
like process those really raw emotions
Oh, that's a great.
and to start to like move through them.
So it's not about pushing those feelings away.
No,
It's
exactly.
about like being present with them.
Yeah, it's like creating space for them
Yeah.
and honoring them.
Okay, I love that.
And then, in addition to that, like that internal work, the book also talks a lot about the importance of,
Right.
good old-fashioned self-care.
Like what?
Things like taking a long walk in nature, listening to music that really soothes your soul,
Yeah.
spending time with loved ones who, really lift you up and make you feel good. Just doing things that nourish your spirit
Right.
and kind of provide you with that sense of comfort during a really hard time.
It's like giving yourself permission
Yeah,
to be nurtured, to be cared for.
precisely.
Yeah. Okay.
So, and then building on that foundation of self-care,
Okay.
the book really dives into like the importance of self-reflection.
Right.
This is where you can really start to explore your needs, your
Mhm.
values, your boundaries.
Yeah, and it's like using this time to like rediscover who you are
Yes.
outside of the relationship.
Yeah, yeah. I love that. And, the book uses this like great analogy of, thinking of self-love like tending a garden.
Okay. Yeah.
So, during heartbreak, it's like the soil might feel really depleted, it's like
Yeah.
all the nutrients have been sucked out.
Right.
But
Mm.
by practicing self-care, self-reflection, it's like you're nurturing that ground and you're allowing like new growth
Right.
to emerge.
I love that analogy. I
Yeah.
think that really like beautifully captures
Yeah,
this process of healing and rebuilding.
absolutely. And, I think it's also important to remember like you don't have to go through this alone.
Yeah, that's huge.
Like lean into your support network,
Mhm.
talk to your trusted friends, your family members.
Right.
Don't be afraid to seek professional guidance.
Yeah.
Talk to a therapist.
Yeah. And there's no shame in that. Like
Mm.
that's so healthy.
Absolutely.
And it's so powerful, I think, just to remember that even in the midst of, what feels like the darkest time,
Yeah,
there's hope for healing and there's hope for growth.
absolutely.
So yeah,
And as you're going through this, remember that healing is not linear.
right.
It's not going to be like this straight path.
Yeah, some days are good, some days are bad. Two
Exactly.
steps forward, one step back.
Yeah. Just be patient with yourself and celebrate those little victories. You will emerge from this stronger
All right.
and more connected to your true self.
I love that. That's a great note to end on.
Yeah, I think so too.
Thank you so much
Yeah, absolutely.
for sharing all that, all those great insights. And to all our listeners out there,
Yeah.
if you're going through this, you're not alone.
Mm-mm.
There is hope and there is healing and there is a brighter future on the other side.
And you're stronger than you think.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, great.
We'll see you all next time.
Yeah, see you later.